world's population is predicted to be 10 billion by 2050, meaning we have to feed 2.5 billion more people. And to address this, we need to increase our food production by 70%. We've also got an exploding middle class, and 50% of today's populations are millennials and Gen Z who are placing new demands on the food system. Our food system is under severe pressure to produce more with less in a sustainable way. And at the same time, we need to reduce waste, tackle global challenges like climate change, manage scarce resources of water, land and labour, and also solve for food safety and security issues. Unfortunately, we are living through the COVID pandemic. Challenges in the food supply system are further exacerbated with empty retail shelves, meat packing disruptions, and price increases. We're seeing acceleration of new trends where home is the new workplace, where we dine in and order food, increase engagement with digital marketplaces, and look for opportunities for touchless interaction with automation and next generation farming and proteins. Now innovation in agri-food tech has become even more important and more critical and urgent. The Agtech Revolution is here in the form of precision ag, big data AI, drones, control environment and next generation proteins. We can't continue to do the same things the same way. We must innovate, adopt and embrace technology. This is why we set up Thrive, to advance the future of food and agriculture through innovation. Entrepreneurs and startups from around the world can solve these problems, and that is why we've built a vibrant agri-food ecosystem. Hello everyone, and greetings from Silicon Valley. I'm John Hartnett, founder and CEO of Svg Ventures Thrive, and I would like to welcome you to the Thrive Africa Challenge. We have an action-packed event planned for you today. We will be joined by some very special guests from the US State Department and the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, followed by an exciting panel discussion. We will then hear pitches from our 9 African finalists who will compete for the Thrive Africa Challenge Award. I would like to thank our partners from the US State Department and our global partners for all of their support making this challenge happen today. Before we get started, make sure to join us in today's conversation on our social channels on Thrive Africa 2021. SVG Thrive is a global investment and innovation platform based in Silicon Valley, and our vision is to advance the future of food and agriculture through innovation. Since 2010, we are ranked as the #1 most active ag tech investor in the world by Crunchbase, and Thrive has also been recognized as the most valuable agri-food accelerator in the world by AgFunder. We work with over 40 agri-food corporations, and our startups have created over 1 billion in value. We have over 5,000 founders in our private network across 100 countries. Last year, we launched our Thrive Global Initiative with the US Secretary of Agriculture. The objective of this initiative is to solve some of the critical challenges facing the global agriculture industry and address key initiatives highlighted by the USDA and the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Our key mission is to identify, accelerate, and invest in innovative solutions from early stage startups that positively impact different regions of the world. We are doing this through a series of regional challenges. Our Thrive Africa Challenge is the 3rd in the series and follows our Thrive Australia Challenge, which we ran in December, and our Thrive Canada Challenge, which took place in January. Later this year, we plan to launch additional challenges in Europe, Latin America, and Asia, as well as corporate-specific themed challenges on sustainability, digital ag, and livestock. We are delighted to announce that we have partnered with Bayer Crop Science for our next challenge, the Thrive Bayer Sustainability Challenge. We will host an official launch webinar on April 14th, where Alan Christian, Bayer's Head of Open Innovation and Strategic Partnerships, will share details of the challenge and the exciting benefits that Bayer will offer winning startups. We are thrilled that Sarah Bodiger, Bayer's Head of Global Public Affairs, Science and Sustainability, will also join us for a fireside chat. Bayer Crop Science are the world's leading agriculture company shaping the future of sustainable agriculture, and we are honored to partner with them. On February 11th, we will host a webinar, A New Era of Smarter Food Safety, with the FDA's Deputy Commissioner for Food Policy and Response, Frank Yanis. We will be discussing new initiatives and innovations that will result in a more digital, traceable, and safer food system. We will also discuss the impact of COVID on the future supply chain and the FDA's collaboration with Operation Warp Speed. Before we dive into our pitches, I would like to welcome Ambassador Jessica Le Pen, the US Ambassador to the African Union, who will officially open today's event, and Beth Beckdahl from the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, who will join me for a fireside chat, which will then be followed by our panel discussion.
On behalf of the U.S. Mission to the African Union, I'm thrilled to welcome you all. The past year has presented many challenges for all of us. We've adapted, accommodated, and innovated. And innovation in agriculture is what the Thrive Africa Challenge is about. Because innovation in agriculture is crucial, especially in Africa, where new ideas, approaches, and solutions are advancing the future of food. The Thrive Africa Challenge links major corporations, philanthropists, investors, and other partners, all of whom are interested in advancing economic prosperity and security in Africa and beyond. The U.S. Department of State is proud to be part of this initiative, bringing some of our country's best experts together with African innovators to collaborate and pursue sustainable solutions. Different people from different sectors with different backgrounds are crucial to solve the persistent and evolving challenges. At the African Union Commission, my team and I work closely with the Department of Rural Economy and Agriculture to address continental policies on seed development and food safety, two critical elements for the future of food and food security. And in the United States, we're working with leading startup incubators and accelerators, and more of their participants are coming from overseas. So why do we partner with organizations like Svg Ventures for Thrive Africa? Because we know startups produce solutions, create jobs, and strengthen fruitful partnerships. We also know nearly 3/4 of the continent's 1.2 billion people are under 35 years old. Their potential to impact the future of Africa and the world cannot be overstated. However, analysts predict that every year from now until 2030, 29 million new minds will join Africa's labor force, while the continent only creates 3 million jobs a year. The result? Significant jobs deficit. So, through a range of programs, the United States is working to support the development and job creation across the continent, including in agriculture. Through the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, or AGOA, U.S. trade and investment hubs have created investment opportunities in Africa worth over $600 million and created 46,000 African jobs, many of which are held by women, who then invest job-related income back into their families and communities. And as we look toward Africa's future, with the advent of the African Continental Free Trade Area, we see opportunities and reasons for optimism. The creation of a single African free market with 1.2 billion people and a combined GDP in the trillions of dollars is an enticing prospect, not only for boosting intra-African trade, but also for the international private sector in the United States and around the world. So the United States has been coordinating a whole-of-government approach to support the AFCFTA, to increase the attractiveness of doing business in Africa, and to level the playing field for all businesses, including ag-focused innovators like you. So whether you're seeking to refine your solutions, explore foreign markets, pitch investors, or solicit additional expertise from industry leaders, I know you'll benefit from Thrive Africa. I'm really pleased to welcome all of you, but more than that, to encourage you to keep pursuing creative collaboration that will help your country, your continent, and your world. Good luck to the 10 finalists pitching today. We applaud your ability to create and the courage you show in pitching your ideas to the world. With that, I'm pleased to launch the 2021 Thrive Africa Challenge.
I'm delighted to be joined here today by Beth Bechdahl, Deputy Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Great to see you again, Beth.
Great to be with you, John. Thanks for having me.
And congrats on your new appointment with the Food and Agriculture Organization. Maybe to get us going, it would be great if you could tell us a little bit about the FAO and your role there, especially in this challenging year that's just gone through.
Yeah, sure. So FAO is one of the specialized agencies of the United Nations, and we really focus our work on supporting a number of really important aspects of the delivery of the Sustainable Development Goals. What we all have to achieve together by 2030 to really, I think, make some big differences in the world that we live in. We are an organization of about 13,000 people. 3,000 of us are headquartered here in Rome. We've been in lockdown for over a year now, it feels like, which makes my arrival and timing of taking on this new role a bit precarious and more than challenging, to say the least. But the other 10,000 colleagues that we have here in the organization are actually spread across country and regional offices in 130 different countries. And that's really where the work that we do, the normative, sort of knowledge-based work, the developmental capacity building, technical support work that we do on projects to support national governments, to do that in partnership with other stakeholders and other donors and members, that all happens on the ground. And that's really the capacity that FAO is able to bring to, again, these key sustainable development goal metrics of reducing hunger, eliminating poverty, taking very strong climate-oriented action, and a number of others we can talk about. But we have 194 member countries, so we work very closely with all of them in making sure that the strategic direction that we are taking to, again, support the outcomes of these sustainable development goals is really well coordinated. My role as Deputy Director General, we have 3 of us who serve at that level who report to the Director General of the organization. And my work stream really has to do with partnerships, with resource mobilization, new collaborative ways of working with the private sector. And I also oversee one of our technical divisions, which focuses on plant production and plant protection technologies and innovations and systems.
Excellent. Well, you're a busy lady for sure. We've been involved with supporting the SDGs as part of our global initiative and our Thrive Africa event. I mean, these are so important, so critical, and also urgent, really, at the moment. What are some of the biggest opportunities that you see out there, and what are some of the challenges that you need to overcome?
Let me maybe start with the challenges first, because we're running out of time. The track that we are on to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals is really sort of a 10-year track now. It's a 2030 agenda. So here we are at the start of 2021, and we're not getting there. The measurements, especially around hunger elimination, zero hunger, we're really struggling. And the numbers are quite staggering, really. If you step back and sort of evaluate where we are with 690 million people who are considered hungry today, that's almost 10% of the world's population. Another 2 billion people in the world don't have access to what we consider to be safe, nutritious, and sufficient food. And that all, John, is before COVID even came to every part of the world. And interestingly, as we're here today to talk about the Africa Challenge, Africa is most affected. If you look at any other continent that is struck by this kind of crisis of food insecurity and hunger, you have essentially 1/2 of the people on that continent who we consider to be in a food crisis situation. And that comes with an exacerbated set of circumstances driven by conflict, mostly man-made, economic shocks, climate or weather extremes. And in Africa too, FAO is playing a big role in trying to mitigate the impacts of transboundary pests like the desert locust plague that is affecting the greater Horn of Africa. So you put all of those pieces together and the challenges are huge. Layered on top of that, with the COVID situation and certain, sort of political and economic positioning of national governments, getting countries, donors, and others to sort of rally around these challenges and to really kind of recommit to multilateralism and the support of the United Nations and the kinds of work that FAO and other agencies do is another really challenging position that we find ourselves in. But the opportunities are tremendous. And I think this ties very squarely to today's event and the great work that you have done with these entrepreneurs. I mean, we see very clearly two important opportunities to really, I think, get us back on track and accelerate the work that needs to be done. One is more partnerships. We're not going to do it on our own as the United Nations. We need partners of all kinds, and especially private sector partners. And that isn't just multinationals and global innovators. That's entrepreneurs and inventors and creative types and small, medium-sized enterprises who can really, I think, be nimble and work very collaboratively with us. And then alongside that, what they oftentimes bring to the table isn't necessarily funding or financial resources. More and more, it's innovation, it's technology, it's data, and other kinds of support technologies and tools that we really need to make sure we get into the hands of smallholder farmers in a number of these affected areas.
Okay. Excellent. I mean, it's some incredible work and obviously significant challenges, human challenges across,
Exactly.
the world. And, in terms of innovation, why is this important for the, food and agriculture and for, FAO?
Well, I mean, we've always, I think, sort of, prided ourselves on being that, again, sort of knowledge center for advancing agriculture in some of the most vulnerable, most crisis affected areas to really, I think, support the advancement of, especially, as I said earlier, smallholder farmers in a number of parts of the world that really need more encouragement, need to advance economically, need to get out of a cycle of poverty and access tools and systems and new ways of production that can ultimately make them more profitable, not only for their own either business enterprise, for their family, and for their community. And I think today more than ever, we see innovation as being one of those critical tools in the toolbox that is needed to advance food and agricultural systems. And as we think about that today, more than ever, there's no one size fits all system. And I would just say, coming from the outside into FAO, I well remember from my own background in production agriculture. Our family has a corn soybean farm in northern Indiana. So this is very, close to home for me, but also time in the private sector in agriculture. I remember watching from a distance FAO really struggling with sort of issues around the right kinds of innovation. And some of that was culturally driven or even maybe politically driven by a number of countries. John, think about the time of, biotechnology and genetic engineering and the advancements that were coming there. Were they agreed to? Were they the right tools? Were they acceptable from a societal or a cultural consumer-driven perspective? And just to share, I think from an FAO perspective, in the past, we sort of froze a bit on those kinds of topics and didn't really realize at the time that it wasn't about picking one type of innovation or one technology over another, but really making sure that there's a suite of opportunities and innovations that need to be applied in different parts. Contextualizing really is important, and finding that right fit of innovation to a particular country, or even a more refined, more granular part of a country is especially important.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, excellent. And programs like Thrive, I mean, we've had a record number of applications this year, over 700, and the most ever from Africa. Why do you think programs like this are important?
Well, I mean, first of all, you are doing just what I indicated needed to be done. You're elevating the importance of innovation. You're telling that story, and I know that's not the singular mission of SVG and the Thrive program and the Thrive activities, but you're communicating. You're getting up on the sort of the microphone stand, and you're really speaking very loudly and clearly about the importance of innovation in all parts of food and agriculture. And what I love about the expansion work that's happening now that you've been leading is taking it to some of these places that are most in need of that type of innovative thinking. I think back to the judging that we did and what people are going to see, here today. And, to really think about entrepreneurs who are creating, produce marketplaces in a digital context for smallholder farmers, who are working on mobile payment and financial services, hydroponic systems, livestock biometric identification tools. These are, I think, innovations that maybe we and somebody who again grew up in Midwest US agriculture kind of takes for granted, but you realize there's so much opportunity for advancement in some of these other parts of the world where farmers just haven't, or business people haven't had opportunities to really access these tools. The other thing that I think you're doing so well in a program like this is you're also bringing the attention to young people, to youth, to the support of entrepreneurs who oftentimes are coming with a spirit and a drive and a zeal to not only, again, find something important for themselves to do or to contribute, but to support their communities and to support their country. And many of them, as we've talked about, are also so socially driven and conscious. They're wanting to do something that contributes to the sustainable development goals, that contributes to, I think, this way of thinking to make the world a better place and to work to the reduction of poverty, the elimination of hunger, and the support of a cleaner, greener climate for everyone. And you bringing this kind of program together and helping these kinds of businesses start to, I think, flourish and thrive in their own countries and their own communities is incredibly important.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, Beth. And it's been a real joy to work with you. Obviously, good friends from here in the Midwest. And congratulations on all the great work that you're doing at the FAO. And we really appreciate your involvement in the judging and participation in this important event and program. And look forward to seeing you hopefully soon. And stay safe. And we'll be wishing our 9 startups a great pitch event coming up now.
I'm excited to see them again and excited to hear who the winner is going to be. And I hope that FAO, John, can continue to stay engaged not only with you and SVG, but also a number of these entrepreneurs. I think there's probably some great opportunity for engagement and maybe even some partnerships down the road with them as well. So I look forward to staying engaged and following their journeys, because I know they've got great successful paths ahead of them.
That's great. That's great, Beth. Well, thank you very much and take care.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm delighted to be joined here today by some very special guests. Elizabeth Liu, who is Special Coordinator for the Young Africa Leaders Initiative. Svg Keita, who is founder and CEO of Agro Women, a social venture aiming to empower women and girls through agribusiness. And Thomas DeBass, Managing Director of the Office of Global Partnerships at the US State Department. Welcome, folks.
Thank you.
Thomas, maybe if I start with you, it would be great to maybe get a little overview from you with regard to the US State Department's African startup priorities, and maybe tell us a little bit more about startup ops.
Sure. Before doing that, actually, I just wanted to commend you for this amazing initiative. It's been a pleasure to collaborate with you on this. And, you know, what a great intro, keynote by my colleague, Ambassador Lapen, our ambassador to the AU, with our great work on the continent, especially regard to the recently ratified the African Continental Free Trade area. And so that's the context where we're coming in terms of our relationship in Africa. And we have a brand new secretary who just recently got confirmed. I don't know if you haven't got a chance to read his or listen to his testimony, if he actually makes a very strong case why the new administration makes Africa a high priority, both from a collaboration perspective, partnership, policy making, and trade. And so this is Thrive Africa is coming at the perfect time, where the administration is reaffirming its commitment to the continent, and our private sector and colleagues and startups are showing their zeal and interest in the continent. So that's the context where we're coming in. But to go to your question about what is startups for us, which is the engine that is making us come together in this event, Thrive Africa, which is our effort essentially to engage with globally well-known and leaders in the startup ecosystem builders, such as you. And the startups was created essentially to engage with them in a shared value, shared goals perspective, how we can support as a public institution, as a foreign policy apparatus, in supporting your efforts and reaching out to new entrepreneurs, new markets, and new opportunities for job creation, for prosperity, and what have you. So we have the pleasure of having under the startups model the likes of Y Combinator, Techstars, Entrepreneurs Roundtable Accelerator out of New York, ERA, and Silicon Valley Group Ventures, SVG, which is none other than John Hartnett himself. So we're proud to collaborate with you to bring this partnership, Thrive Africa, under this umbrella. We call it startups for the reasons that we consider startups as our kind of special ops for the economy. So we are quite bullish and quite aggressive in looking at how we can support startups, especially in this pandemic area where we need economic recovery and economic resiliency. And one way to achieve that would be to support startups around the world, especially in emerging markets like Africa.
Excellent. Thank you, Thomas. And in terms of from an entrepreneurial perspective, you know, why is the link, or what is the link between the US and Africa, and what's your vision here? What would you like us to be doing?
Yes, great question. Our newly obviously confirmed Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, said in his remarks, I'm going to quote him, while the past year has been challenging for many of us in new ways, the importance of innovation in agriculture remains a great priority, especially in Africa, where some new ideas, new approaches and solutions need to be developed and deployed. And so there is some World Bank data that shows that Sub-Saharan Africa is slipping into a recession for the first time in 25 years because of the pandemic. And it is critical that all of us, firms like SVG Partners and startups and everyone else who can support them, need to kind of re-engage and support these entrepreneurs so they can bring economic recovery and resilience into these markets. So it is through that creative collaboration and innovation that we believe that America's collaboration with Africa can be strengthened with the shared value that we all have, that the economy needs to be, recovered, grow, and create jobs. And we hope that we will do that with you, with SVG Partners and Thrive Africa, and all these startups that are pitching today. And that's essentially our vision, our dream. That's what we want to see.
Brilliant. Well, we had a fantastic response from Africa. It was the #1 leading continent with regard to our applications. So we were thrilled to meet with so many different entrepreneurs from right across the continent. We had over 283 from 27 countries. So we're thrilled at the engagement there. Maybe Liz, I'll hand it over to you a little bit. I'm really intrigued to learn a little bit more about Young Africa Leaders Initiative or YALI that you're coordinating. Could you tell us a little bit more about that and what your goals are and maybe the scope and the scale of your organization?
Sure, and thanks for having me here today, John. I'm not surprised at all to hear that Africa was one of the most competitive continents applying for this program. And part of that is because I know how amazing our YALI entrepreneurs are. The Young African Leaders Initiative is the US government's signature effort to invest in the next generation of African leaders. And since 2010, YALI has graduated more than 24,000 alumni between the Mandela Washington Fellowship Exchange Program and the regional leadership centers based on the continent. Roughly 57% of those alumni are entrepreneurs. And we also have a YALI Network digital community with over 650,000 members. That's more than the population of Bujumbura. Absolutely amazing. For the past decade, YALI has supported economic growth in Africa by empowering youth to take the control of their own future. Through its 3 tracks, civic engagement, public management, and business and entrepreneurship, YALI promotes effective public administration, grows networks that connect people, creates conditions for peace, prosperity, and security across the continent, and investment opportunities for US businesses. YALI alumni are simply outstanding. They consistently rise to high-ranking leadership positions and are recognized with international awards. 4 fellows have held or currently hold cabinet-level positions. A 2016 Ghanaian fellow was named the Daily Trust African of the Year in 2017. And in 2019, a Somali fellow was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for her work to rehabilitate young people radicalized into joining armed militia groups. But you don't have to take my word for it at all. In a moment, you'll hear from one of our esteemed alumni, Keita, who's the founder and CEO of Agro Women, a social venture aiming to empower women and girls through agribusiness in Mali. So the bottom line, if you remember nothing else from what I just said, if you don't already engage with YALI alumni to advance your business goals, or if you're between the ages of 18 and 35 and eligible to apply for one of YALI's programs, but you haven't yet, then you need to. Thanks.
Excellent, Liz. That's I mean, it's incredible, the numbers. I mean, obviously we'd been aware of the organization, but just the scale of how you're operating and the success stories. I mean, it's incredible. And I'm really keen to kind of chat with Feely to kind of learn a little bit about her experience. But maybe before I do that, in terms of the future for YALI, where would you see, what's the vision in terms of if you go out 5 or 10 years, what would you hope to achieve as an organization?
Yeah, that's a great question. YALI started under the Obama administration, and so it's survived across both Democratic and Republican administrations. I don't see YALI going anywhere. And a big piece of that is because youth engagement will continue to be a priority. Within the next 30 years, the population of Africa is projected to double to over 2 billion people, 70% of whom will be under the age of 30. This is not Africa's first youth bulge, but it will be the most significant since it projects that Africa will represent 2/3 of the net increase of the world's population by 2050. To quote Congressmember Karen Bass, who spoke in an event yesterday with the Woodrow Wilson Center, there's 2 ways that we can look at the youth bulge. Some view it as a threat or a danger, but I and Representative Bass look at it as an unbelievable opportunity because the imagination and energy of youth is transformative. And that's why she and so many others really love working with YALI. YALI truly is at the forefront of the US government's engagement with the continent's youth. And as I said earlier, YALI alumni are among the smartest, most plugged in and entrepreneurial young people. And I firmly believe that YALI alumni represent the future of African leadership. So like I said earlier, if you don't remember anything else, you really want to engage YALI alumni in your businesses, or if you're of YALI age, 18 to 35, I encourage you to apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship or Regional Leadership Center program.
Fantastic, Liz. That's a really, incredible initiative, and congratulations on all the progress to date. Philly, I'm so excited to hear about your story, and obviously it would be great to kind of understand your background in context of agro women in terms of how this came about and what your focus is there.
Hi everyone, my name is Philly Keita. I'm from Mali, and I'm the founder and CEO of Agro Women, Agriculture, Women and Entrepreneurship, yet in startup, which is a sesame processing startup, which aim to contribute to women economic empowerment. So we process sesame seeds, we make sesame oil and sesame snacks. We sell also local made rice. And currently we are at the beginning stage because we are a startup and we are looking for growth. To answer your question, which is about how it's important to support women, I think that there is a great need for women economic empowerment in rural areas because they are strongly involved in the agriculture sector. They play a crucial role in this sector, but they don't benefit much from their production. And what we are doing, we are making cluster of them. We are working with women cooperatives, and we buy sesame seeds from them. And through this initiative, we would like to contribute to their economic empowerment. And we strongly believe that women economic empowerment will also have an impact on girl education. So this is why we want to really work on this initiative in order to contribute to the development of Africa.
Yes, thanks, Philly. Obviously there are challenges with every entrepreneur, and what are the unique challenges that you see African entrepreneurs face, and maybe as a follow-on question, what is important, or what are the challenges for women in this sector, and where can we help, or where can there be support in terms of some of the initiatives that we might be doing here?
So the challenges that we are facing, women are facing. To tell something about myself, my parents are working in the fonction publique. I don't know how to say this in French, in the government work, and they don't have an idea on entrepreneurship. And at the beginning, I was obliged to work with another NGO, and at the same time work on my startup, so that to show them that I can do the work that I learned from school, and I can also work on my own project, which is Agro Women.
Congratulations, Philly, for everything you've done. You're a true inspiration for many other leaders across the continent. You'll be glad to hear that we have a special female award today as well. So we've had some great representation from African entrepreneurs pitching later today. So I hope you'll enjoy and see that. Thank you. Thomas, any final words? And Liz, maybe Thomas, if you want to help us close out here.
I think Liz has done a good job in terms of outlining why the youth are important, especially the growing number that is out there. But I wanted to put why Thrive Africa, why Africa matters, not just to the US, to the entire world. The world population is estimated to be nearly now 10 billion in 2050. That means the world food production will need to rise by 70%. In order to achieve that, obviously, we have to produce more food. And Africa is home to 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land. And also 65% of its labor force is engaged in agriculture. By some estimate, Africa's agricultural sector is supposed to reach nearly $2 trillion by 2030. So these are the numbers why Africa matters. It is not in some kind of a kumbaya, Lion King circle of life thing why Africa matters. It matters because the data shows you that the continent is emerging, not just for the sake of Africa, but for the sake of the whole world. So we have to pay attention to that, the energy and the entrepreneurs that are coming out, which you will witness obviously shortly from these amazing entrepreneurs. And I want to wish them luck. I know they don't need my luck, but I can't wait to see their pitch. And thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Thomas. Liz, any final parting words? Obviously, go Yali and young leaders.
Yes, thank you. Go Yali. There's a young leader behind me. So, but yeah, I think sometimes people who aren't familiar with Africa, when they think of Africa, they think of challenges and that sort of thing. But as we've highlighted today, it really is a place where there are tremendous opportunities, particularly in the area of agriculture. And, I spend every day, I'm really lucky hearing about Yali alumni elevating their efforts. We just got a message today that an alumni from Uganda was elected to the new government. And this is the kind of thing that I hear about all the time. So, so truly, there's so much tremendous potential there. And I just want people to keep that in mind when they think of Africa. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you all. Really appreciate your involvement, your support. It's a pleasure to work with the State Department. In a funny way, a silver lining of COVID is that we're able to do this, right now. So let's hope the best for 2021. And thank you, and look forward to some great entrepreneurs pitching. Thank you.
Thank you, indeed. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Before we hear from our startups, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our mentors who gave their valuable time to share their wisdom and guidance with our startups as they prepared for their pitches. This is a very important part of our program, and mentors can make a huge impact to our entrepreneurs as they embark on their entrepreneurial journey. Thank you, Thrive mentors. Special thanks also to our amazing judges for participating in the process of reviewing and evaluating each startup, and also sharing their feedback and guidance. Thank you, Thrive judges. As part of our Thrive Africa Challenge program, the African winner will advance to the final of our Global Accelerator and have the opportunity to participate in our 3-month program, our Silicon Valley Bootcamp, and present at the Thrive Forbes Agtech Summit. Winners also receive acceptance as an XTC finalist. The winner of the Female Founder Award will also receive complimentary access to a 4-week design thinking course, courtesy of the African Women Entrepreneurship Cooperative. We had a record number of 700 applications from 78 countries around the world. We had an incredible response from Africa. 44% of the total applicant pool were African startups. From that pool of 284 startups, we have identified 9 companies that will pitch here today. We were extremely impressed with the high caliber of applicants, which we received from 27 countries across the African continent, and this made for a very competitive selection process. And now I'm going to hand it over to Karen and Kaylin to introduce our startups.
Thanks, John. I'm Karin Gerhardt, and I'm the Director of Corporate Innovation at Thrive. As you just heard from our guest speakers, there are several initiatives aiming to support Africa's top agricultural entrepreneurs to innovate and allow the continent to unlock more efficiently and sustainably the full potential of the African agri-food tech sector. Now, this is the part where we get to transition from hearing about Africa's innovations to seeing it from the entrepreneurs themselves. I'm honored to be joined by my colleague Kaylin to help introduce you to our finalists.
Hi, I'm Kaylin Simon, Program Manager at SVG Ventures Thrive. Karin and I will be helping you to get to know our 9 finalists a little better today. These companies are making groundbreaking strides to address several of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and are truly revolutionizing agribusiness across the continent. With that, it is our honor and privilege to kick off the inaugural Thrive Africa Challenge. Back to Karin to help introduce our first presenter.
Every farm needs a steady stream of inputs, but unfortunately, tools, seeds, and fertilizers are not always cheap. That's why our first startup has developed a mobile layaway savings platform that allows farmers to save and invest without having to take out credit. It's my pleasure to welcome Ugwal Joseph, founder and CEO of Agro Supply Uganda.
Hi, my name is Ugwal Joseph. I'm the founder and the CEO of Agro Supply. Growing up as a child, I grew up with my parents and I saw them struggle through their farming journey with finding inputs and finances to get agricultural input itself and get mechanization and so on. So we are always short on food and those kind of things, yet we are the same people who are supplying the majority of population in Uganda with food. So picking up from that, I developed interest in studying agriculture, and that is why I've been working in the agricultural sector and came up with this amazing company. 1 billion people across the world are smaller farmers. This is the biggest industry ever, but operated by the world poor people. The knowledge and the idea is the problem is the same everywhere, in Uganda, in Kenya, in Tanzania, and all these other places. The unbanked people, we have 326 million Africans who have little or no access to financial services, 28 million in Uganda. Most people like banks says that smaller farmers are risky, but we found out that smaller farmers have a lot of money when they have just harvested their crop. Others have even more than $500 or even $1,000. But because the agricultural season in Uganda and in Africa, farmers have to spend 3 months when they are not doing any farming. That is when they spend their money in such a way that when the farming season comes 3 or 4 months afterward, they are short of cash, yet what they need is seed, fertilizer, and other things to get them through the season. Now, typical solution that every farmer is having around that time is to take these inputs and other things on loan. As a Agro Supply, we found out that these cannot sustain farmers for long. So we think that if farmers can start saving and investing in agriculture early when they still have the money, and they don't have to take the things of credit. That is why we developed a simple layaway saving platforms that uses USSD and mobile money to help smaller farmers save little by little when they still have money to be able to get seeds, fertilizer, and other things when the season starts without taking them on credit. There are 2.5 million smaller farmers in Uganda. That's already a big number, plus more than 10,000 farmer groups. Our model is really simple. We have developed an innovation that helps smaller farmers finance themselves for seeds and fertilizer. We're doing last mile distribution of the seeds to all the farmers who have paid for it. We are providing training on basic agronomic practices, and we are connecting these farmers to ready market bypassing the middleman. The beauty of our innovation is that we don't charge smaller farmers on using the technology. We simply take between 20 to 25% commission on every kilogram of inputs that we sell to them through the platform. Well, we started the idea in 2018, and up to now we have 10,015 smaller farmers. We have sold more than 80,000 kilograms of seed, that is 80 metric tons of seeds. Smaller farmers have made small payment up to $240,000 US, and this year alone we got $207,984 in revenue. We have competitors, microfinance institution and village VSLA, that is Village Loan Saving Associations. The difference is that our system helps smaller farmers to direct their saving directly into agriculture without having to take any credit or pay any interest. Most of the MSIs that are operating in Uganda are giving smaller farmers input and charging them 19% interest. That means that farmers have to devote a much time of time trying to farm to pay back the loan that they have taken. We are doing last mile distribution. All these microfinance and VSLA don't distribute farmers to the last mile. They send the farmers to go and get money. That means they spend money in transport. We're also doing market facilitation and extension services, which they are not offering. And that sets us apart from all these other people. If you look at our traction, in 2019, we had 5,200 farmers. We got $98,000 US. In 2020, 10,015, $207,000 US. This year, we want to reach 25,000 farmers and making about $463. We're looking for $300,000 US. 75,000 has already been committed. This would help us scale this project across Uganda and also try it in Kenya. We have a team of experienced people. We have myself as the CEO, Brandon, the co-founder. We all have together has more than 20 years of experience in agriculture, and we are supported with 130 village agents spread across Uganda. These are commission-based agents. These are partners that we have worked with, others have funded us. We have our official seed supplier, which is Seedco. We work with Massicop as well, and all these other organizations that have supported us in one way or another. Thank you.
By utilizing the power and accessibility of mobile phones, this next startup has figured out how to match supplies from the farm with demands of local vendors and distributors to create direct market access for smallholder farmers. With more, here's Calvin Okello, co-founder and CEO of M-Shamba.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Calvin Okello from M-Shamba, and I'm here to tell you about our work. So M-Shamba is a digital platform that supports smallholder farmers in the production of safe and quality food, and thereafter matches the supply from the farms with the demand from vendors and distributors, thus creating a ready market for the farmers. The problem we are solving is that smallholder farmers are unable to access ready and rewarding markets for their produce. They are also unable to produce food that meets quality standards of the market most of the time. The other problem is that the vendors and distributors trading on farm produce are unable to get reliable and consistent supply of food and quality farm produce that meet the consumer standards. This is such a serious problem that even the children know about it and they're talking about it. So I'll read for you an excerpt from Food Safety Media. And there's a boy here called Victor who says that farmers should ensure they spray their crops with pesticides that are not harmful to humans. Food that has been sprayed like tomatoes should not be harvested immediately to ensure people do not consume these pesticides, which are harmful. And so the wishes of Victor and many other children, millions of other parents, is what we are trying to do and to achieve to ensure that whatever comes to the table is safe for consumption. So as I mentioned, it's a digital platform. The farmers have a suite of tools, interactive voice, SMS, and USSD, where they are able to query for some of this information. They are also able to receive audio on food quality standards, food safety standards, and they are also able to request for reach on demand either via voice or USSD. And we have adopted the safety standards from KS 1758 Kenyan standard and the global gap, among others. The vendors on the other side are able to place their orders on a weekly basis, and our system is able to match the demand from these vendors with the supply from the farms. And so we also do what we call bundle service. As much as we are very good in market linkage and support of these farmers to produce in a good way, we also link up with input service providers, irrigation service providers, financial service providers, and storage service providers, so that we are able to create a bundle service that makes the farmer much more comfortable in working with us. Our model is we buy from the farm, pay via M-Pesa, and then we sell to the vendors, exporters, and processors. The market is about $300 billion. The serviceable, obtainable market is about 15%. Currently, we aggregate about 474 tons of potato every week, 89 tons. of tomato every week, 83 tons of banana every week, and 1,060 chicken every week. This we aggregate from about 12,000 farmers. We work in Siaya, Nakuru, Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia, and Marakwet, and we supply to about 3,000 traders who are on our platform. The impact so far is that farmers' productivity have increased by about 35%, their income by 60%, sometimes up to 150% when they were changing the value chains. The post-harvest losses have reduced by up to 80%. The profitability of the vendors have increased by 20%. And we're looking forward to creating about 14,040 jobs by the year 2025. Thank you very much. And that is all about M-Shamba.
It is estimated that over 50% of all fruits and vegetables are wasted during post-harvest handling, processing, and distribution. But would it surprise you to know that we could reduce this waste with existing and affordable technology? Our next startup is focused on refrigeration. This team designs, manufactures, and deploys solar-powered cold storage solutions for fresh produce farmers, aggregators, and retailers. Presenting today, here's John Bindio, founder and CEO of FreshBox.
Did you know that over 40% of fresh produce is spoiled before reaching your plate? My name is John Bindio. I am the CEO and founder of FreshBox. At FreshBox, we design, manufacture, and install solar-powered cold storage solutions. These units are therefore installed in different points of the food supply chain. That is, at the production point, this is the farm, at the aggregation or distribution point, as well as at the market or the vendor point. We have three different business models. Our key model is renting out space on these units, which we call rental, refrigeration as a service. And we charge a standard fee, which should be monthly or quarterly for use of the unit. And we also have a model where we sell the unit wholesale to large-scale farmers or aggregators. Our units are locally made, and so we are the most affordable option right now in the market with locally available components. We are able to make a unit in 2 to 3 days. For the last 2 years of operation, we are in 2 different countries, and we have over 21 units installed and operational, serving over 200 fresh produce farmers and aggregators. We are able to reduce food waste up to 23% due to refrigeration. At the same time, we increase farmer, vendor, or aggregator revenue up to 15%. So far, we have worked with different bodies. These include the World Food Program, and we've gotten recognition from Kiosk as a third position for the Global Leap Awards Off-Grid Cold Storage Challenge. We intend to install at least 100 units in the next 1 year, and this counts towards our bigger picture of having 10,000 units installed by 2030 in sub-Saharan Africa. We have a very capable and accomplished team. I am the founder and CEO, and I oversee business operations, customer service, as well as on-ground operations. Tom helps me in the technical part of the business, and Judy helps us in the financial part of the business. We also subcontract different contractors based on volume of business that we have. We are currently raising $500,000, and this is part of our pre-seed round, and this is in equity or convertible debt. These funds will be used to install at least 10 units and as well as 5 mobile units across the seasonal farmers or in the different parts of that value chain. We're also looking at increasing our team. This is in the sales, customer experience, and marketing, as well as a bit of research and development on our cooling technology. Thank you.
As a farmer, imagine being able to eliminate inefficiencies in food supply by having a platform that could give you insights on what's happening in the market based on prices, seasons, available produce, and growing opportunities. Based in Kenya, this next startup offers just that. Here's Kiprutu Chichiru, co-founder and operations manager at Mamlaka Foods Limited.
Mamlaka Foods is a digital marketplace which was founded in the year 2018 with the sole purpose of ensuring that farmers have access to market for their produce. We work and live by the mantra that every harvest counts. This means that we make sure that everything that leaves the farms are bought in the market. We worked in 7 counties since 2018. We've moved produce worth $760,000. We have 21,000 farmers. We also we've employed over 2,100 people, and we are based in Nairobi, Kenya, with our leader being one Kiprutu Chichiru, who was the lead founder of Mamlaka Foods. What is the problem that we are facing? We have one major one, which is the access to structured route to market of produce. That is to ensure that there's access to markets. Number 2, there are many intermediaries in the supply chain. This means that brokers, cartels, and all that. Adequate supply chain infrastructure is what's lacking, and also farmers don't have solutions which include their credit, insurance, and risk profiling. Our solution is anchored on 4 things: digital marketplace, number 2, the digitally enabled agency network, for number 3, supply chain infrastructure and strategic partnerships. How does it work? Customer broadcast produce, then this produce is seen by the farmers on the platform. We do a matchmaking of price, quantity, quality, and location. When that is accepted, then order is processed. The quality is then controlled and checked in the collection centers. Money is paid by the farmer, by the buyer, to an escrow account to protect both the farmer and the customer. When the produce is dispatched to the customer now, then we make a check-off system as soon as the customer accepts the produce. The players we have farmers, traders, institutional buyers, and the partners that I was talking about earlier on in our marketplace. Why do we think that it's the right time for us to have this solution in the market? One, COVID happened, which has led everyone else to go online for the solution for buying everything else that they have. We have focused on sustainable food systems, increased population in urban areas, internet penetration. There's a lot of mobile money users and adoption, youth unemployment. So when this is done, then our youth are going to get jobs. Where do we get our revenue? We get our revenue from transactional fees, from complete sales, our whole cycle. Number 2, through commissions that we get from optimization of the DIN network, because the DIN network is what forms the buffer between they sort out the farmers and they sort out also the customers. Number 3 of where we get our revenue is channel sales through third parties. Guys of insurance, people who give us give the farmers fertilizer and all that when the product now is on its maximum potential. The traction I've spoken about, that we have 21,000 farmers, 760,000 of turnover USD, jobs created, and then the counties that we've covered. And that's, if we can see, that's the projection where we are looking at being in the near future. The competitors that we have Trigger, Digifarm, and all lot of these are the things that the differentiating factors, small scale farmers, which we are heavy on it, to structure their supply chain, tech platform, and strategy. Our team, we are led by the co-founder, which is Mr. Kiprutu, and we have a whole lot of a strong team that leads Mamlaka Foods from the front. Why do we need financing for the activities that we are looking forward to? is to develop a proper supply chain, seed capital for settlement purchases of the farmers, the farmer customer onboarding and integration, and most importantly is to ramp up the building of the Mamlaka digital platform. We built this for two things, just to wrap up. For one, to ensure that there is proper access for markets for farmers, to create value for customer and farmer. Number two is to ensure that every harvest in the farms is bought and sold in the market, because at times we fail to buy produce from farmers because it is not bad food, but it's ugly, which someone else can get that one at a cheaper price. Thank you very much.
Our next presenter was recognized as the top female innovator in Africa by the World Economic Forum and successfully exited the tech company in 2018. Now she's tackling the livestock industry, with more on a biometric identification system to track and trace health abnormalities in livestock using AI and IR imagery. It's my pleasure to introduce Neil Hollis, co-founder and CEO of 3D Emo.
Hi, my name is Nelon Hodise. I'm the co-founder and CEO of 3D Emo, which is a software and data analytics company focused in the agricultural space based in Cape Town, South Africa. One of the problems that we have realized is that 1 out of 5 farm animals are lost due to preventable diseases because of lack of proper vaccination program. And we have also discovered that animal diseases have caused global economic losses of about 80 billion in the past 20 years. If this continues, by 2050, 60% of the global population will barely have organic animal protein on their plates. So we need to start creating a solution that speeds up early detection and tracing of infections and diseases in animals, saves farmers money, and optimizes farmers' businesses. And that is what we provide at 3D Emo. We have created a Tola web app, which provides a globally accessible animal biometric identification, linking an animal to a farmer, to track animal movement, to provide vaccination record, and to provide farm productivity insights, helping the farmer be able to keep tabs of what's happening in his farm and around the region where their farm is located. And how our product works is that a farmer would sign up on our web app, insert information of their farm and their livestock information. They would then have to upload at least 3 images of each animal's nose or muzzle, input information of each animal, such as the livestock type, breed type, the current age, the current weight, and the vaccinations that the animal has received. With that, we are then able to create a unique ID of each animal. And what's special about our ID is that it gives details of where the animal is located in the world. The benefits is that beyond providing biometric identification, we provide the farmer with farm productivity insights, such as their stock value, provide health alerts, and also providing the regional diseases around that area. And as you look at the market size, currently our focus has been in South Africa, where there are about 150,000 farms in South Africa, and of that number, 144,000 are profitable livestock farms. And our target is that by 2023, we would have reached 50,000 clients within South Africa. And our business model is that we provide 2 layers of our SaaS model, where we charge an annual subscription to the farmers, and we also charge commission to our different partners, such as banks, insurance companies, and veterinary companies. And because we have different clients, we have created an aggressive pricing model that allows farmers to have a different pricing model based on the amount of IDs they create. And our global competitors, we are not the only company that is working in the space of providing health risk management, yield prediction, and disease tracing. There are a lot of companies that are also in the space, but what makes 3D Emo stand out is that we are the only company that provides biometric identification, also providing health risk alerts and yield prediction, all in one product. And our attraction to date is that we have 207,000 livestock in our portfolio with over 380 clients. And in the past 4 months, we have increased our annual recurring revenue to 31,000 USD, which is an increase of 28% client growth month on month. And our team, we have a diverse team that comes from both a technical and a business background. And what's interesting about our team is that in the past 3 years, we have stayed in over 10 countries doing the demo work. And our funding needs is that we are raising $1 million USD, which will optimize our talent, our product, and our operation to reach a target of 75,000 farmers by 2023, which is in South Africa. And we also want to expand in California and reach about 25,000 farmers. And that will mean that our projected revenue goes to $4 million USD with the current, with using just the average tier of 55 USD. So thank you.
By leveraging partnerships with major agricultural commodity exchange agencies and banks in Nigeria, this next startup has created a platform that provides mobile payments, financial services, access to market, and storage solutions to its growing consumer base of over 20,000 farmers. Here's Ginia Ilya, co-founder and CEO of Farmer First.
Hello everyone, my name is Ginia Ilya. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Farmer First. At Farmer First, we're here to provide, we're here to solve the following problems: low market access for our farmers and traders in rural areas. Most of our farmers don't have banking facilities whereby they can carry out their financial transactions. And also there's a huge funding gap in the agricultural sector, which has enabled farmers to grow their agricultural produce. This is our solutions. We're creating market access for farmers. We're trying to create credit facilities for farmers to enable them to grow their agricultural produce. And also we're providing banking solutions for farmers where they can carry out their financial transactions. Yes, on the payment system, currently in Nigeria, close to 40% of farmers don't have access to financial transactions. Now we just created a USSD code which will enable farmers to carry out their financial transaction on their phones, because in Nigeria, 90% of farmers don't have smartphones. So with this USSD code, farmers can do their withdrawals and deposits using their phones. Secondly, on the payments, on the credit facility, Farmer Money, we're in partnership with financial institution Black Copper, which will enable farmers to easily access credits, because in Nigeria, 98% of farmers don't farm with less than 1 hectare of land. With the credit facilities, it will enable them to grow and expand their agricultural businesses. Then on the market access, currently we're operating in 6 states across Nigeria, and we're in partnership with 2 major agricultural commodity exchange, which is the Afex Commodity Exchange and also the Lagos Commodity and Future Exchange. And we're also going to provide storage facilities for our farmers, because in Nigeria, more than 50% of farmers don't have access to storage facilities, which has resulted to food wastage. This is our team. My name is Ginia Ilya. I'm the CEO and co-founder. We have Marina Zango, which is our Chief Operating Officer. We have Sakniki Maina, which is our Chief Marketing Officer. And we have Mrs. Zono Hassan, which is our in-house consultant, and also a consultant to Afex Commodity and Future Exchange. Yes, our target market is we work with the farmers by creating market access for farmers and partnership with different off-takers and food processing companies, and also with the commodity exchange. And we're trying to create credit facilities for our farmers and also financial inclusion for our farmers and local traders. The market size in Nigeria, agriculture covers about 25% of Nigeria's GDP, which is close to about $100 billion. And secondly, we have 40% of our farmers are not financially included. We are providing financial services for our farmers and also credit facilities. We have close to 20,000 farmers on our platform. We have done over 1,000 deals, issued over 300 loans, and we're in partnership with about 66 agricultural cooperatives. Our partners are eTransact, Zenith Bank, which are financial partners. We're also in partnership with different agricultural cooperatives and also food processing companies like Captain Foods and Easy Sauce. Our business model is simple. We create market access for farmers and we charge a commission for it. We also charge a commission for every financial transaction that happens, and we charge an interest rate loan for every credit facilities given to our farmers. Our competition, and there are so many companies that are into mobile money agents, but most of them are mostly targeted to the city. We're the first company that were introducing banking solutions to our farmers and traders, most especially in the rural areas. Our competitive advantage are located in the northern part of Nigeria, which farms most of the agricultural produce in Nigeria. We have key partnerships with major financial institutions and also top agricultural cooperatives in Nigeria. Our funding gap requires $5,000. The reason why we want to grow market access, our supply and trading, and also to expand our mobile banking solution. Thank you very much.
Based in Uganda, our next startup is on a mission to revolutionize agribusiness practices in East Africa by providing a mobile app and web portal that connects farmers to markets, agronomists to farmers, and landless farmers to landowners. It's my pleasure to introduce Buanika Charles, founder and CEO of Farm Kiosk.
I live in a country where 78% of its population are young people below the age of 35. And it's in this very country where 80% of the land is arable, but only 20% of this land is being utilized. With the ever-bulging young population, if Uganda, together with other African countries, are to harness from the world's #1 youthful population, we've got to innovatively utilize the unutilized land on the continent, but also we need to intentionally invest in mechanization and digitization of the sector. And in that way, we'll be enticing more young people to join the agribusiness sector. But also, we'll be creating millions of jobs for these young people that are unemployed of late. And in return, we would have positioned ourselves to export 80% of our farm produce to the rest of the world, just a decade tomorrow. Now, Farm Kiosk is already part of this equation, and we are tapping into the disruptions that have been brought about by COVID-19 in the food value chain system. So what do we do as Farm Kiosk? We do farm linkages, provide agronomy services to the farmers, but more importantly, we are linking landless young people that want to join the sector with people that are leasing out their land purposely for agribusiness in any part of the country. We also organize structured trainings in the areas of agribusiness, financial literacy, and digital skills, which enables the farmers to tap into our services that we give out. And this is how we work with the different chain players along the value chain. And this is how we make money through the profit margins, with the quarterly subscriptions on the services that we give out, but also on the monthly subscriptions on the ads that we run on our platforms, both online and offline. We have a target of reaching out to particular clients by the year 2026, and this is how they are segmented so that we offer our services to these target clients. Mobility, reliability, high quality goods are top of the agenda as we offer out our services, but also traceability. And these are guided by our profiling features in our mobile app, which helps us to track the nitty-gritty if there is any need to track an issue as regards the services that we offer. We've had an increase in the customers that are enrolling into our services, both on the B2C and the B2C side. This is our CapEx for the last 2 years. And this is our customer acquisition cost, which ranges between $15 to $55. All the work that we do contributes to the 7 stated SDGs. And we offer a range of customer value, propositions, which our competitors are not offering. Of late, we are building a platform that is going to help us to be interlinking, engaging people that cannot use platforms that are in English. So we're building a platform or a feature within our platform that is going to be interchanging 12 local languages that will help us reach as many communities as possible. We hope to start breaking even in the second year post-investment, and we hope to reach out to 99% of our target market by year 2026. We're looking for funds in the region of $150,000 US in form of grants and equity, self-investment, and this is how we'll be using the funds to scale out our solution. We have a young, achievement, talented team with a mixture of the skills that we need to see that we scale out our solution to our target clients. At Farm Kiosk, we say the best time to join our business was a decade yesterday, and the second best time is today. Want to reach out to us? Please do. Thank you.
This next startup outlines their ability to grow with impact through simple numbers. 4 times less space, 6 times the production, 80% less water usage, and 48% increase in yields. This is accomplished by using a simplified hydroponic system that results in improved food security, nutrition, and environmental protection. Introducing Dr. Peter Chege, founder and CEO of Hydroponics Africa Limited.
Hydroponics Africa vision is to feed the world through sustainable, simplified hydroponics innovation. I'm your presenter, Dr. Peter Chege, the CEO and the founder of Hydroponics Africa Limited. The problem: the world requires 50% more food production to realize over 470 million tons of food to feed over 9 billion people by year 2050. Yet, the World Bank estimates a 35% reduction in the yield in the same period due to climate change, increased population, reduced farmlands, and water shortages. Our solution as Hydroponics Africa is all-inclusive hydroponic solutions that uses almost zero energy for irrigation because water stays in the system, allowing farmers to produce 80 times more yield per square foot because we'll be able to grow vertically up to 20 meters high. At the same time, using 80% less water as the nutrients. We will be able to grow 365 days in a year because it does not depend on rain-fed agriculture. And climate change, soil type, water quality no longer dictates the successful income of the yield. Our business model. We have 4 revenue streams. First is for sale of hydroponic systems, which we have designed based on the climate, based on the user, and based on the type of the crop. This consists to 34% of our income. We also sell fresh produce from our hydroponics farms and also from our farmers whom we aggregate and sell to our contracted buyers of the fresh produce. We also manufacture hydroponics nutrients and soil-based fertilizer, of which we have the patent and sell. This one accounts to 22% of our revenue. We also train and do consultancy work for Africa, which consists to 16% of our revenue. In terms of socio-economic and environmental impact for the last 4 years, Hydroponics Africa has been able to install over 6,800 simplified hydroponics units to over 5,000 households. I've been able to train over 20,000 women and youth and created 27,000 jobs. This has produced 4,800 tons of farm fresh produce and saved over 500 million liters of water, and increased vegetation cover and reduce carbon dioxide emission. Because in hydroponics, you can be able to grow in local areas. We grow in rooftops, frustrated walls of the building. So we don't have to cut trees, or we'll be able to now to grow crops where it is consumed. In terms of competition, so far you have 3 competitors. And our competitive advantage is Hydroponics Africa offers all-inclusive hydroponic services. That is design the installation of hydroponic system, provide farm inputs, training, agronomic crop support, market linkages and financial linkages. The other three competitors does not provide all those services. We have a team of 36 employees. As you can see, we have a good experience from 17 years to 4 years experience in hydroponics. We also have our Kenya Climate Innovation Center who give us advisory services. In terms of investment, the current market size for vegetables is $258 million, and livestock fodder is $119 million. And this is expected to increase by 15% every year in Kenya. We are seeking $450,000 as equity to finance our expansion strategy. This is going to generate a net profit of $94,500 at a margin of 21%. This is our website, hydroponicsafrica.org, and thank you very much.
Our final startup is using data science and demand matching technologies to help smallholder farmers upscale their production capabilities and fulfill demand requirements of large buyers. Winner of the Pitch AgriHack and the Impulse Accelerator, here's Femi Aiki, founder and CEO of Foodlocker.
Foodlocker. 250 million farmers. In September 2019, Nigeria's largest tomato processing facility was shut down because farmers could not meet the demand for tomatoes. It meant a 1,400 ton per day processing plant was shut down and productivity nosedived. That is the story of a $350 billion market for food in Africa, where over 250 million smallholder farmers cannot meet the demand for food because they lack access to demand awareness, they lack access to capital, inputs, and the knowledge of good agricultural practices that can help them. Then comes in Foodlocker. We're a market access and production management platform that meets the farm produce needs of large buyers by supporting smallholder farmers first with demand awareness, but also with access to input, credit, and expertise. How does it work? We collect historical demand data as well as forward contracts from large buyers. We then forecast this demand into the future so that we can inform the smallholder farmers about what to produce, how to produce, when to produce, for whom to produce, and our partners provide support to the farmers in terms of access to input, credit, and expertise. While the farmers are producing, we're collecting a lot of data from them, and we're able to optimize their yields. At harvest, we sell directly to the large and small buyers, and therefore the farmers are making money and the ecosystem is also making money. And our offering is a web application plus operational activities that allow us to be able to upscale and support millions of smallholder farmers who are producing across Africa. And all the smallholder farmer has to do is to send a basic text message on a periodic basis in any language and based on specified formats to a dedicated phone number. Our system then converts this data into farm performance indicators that are useful for understanding input consumption, but also output growth in terms of yields, revenue profiles, cost profiles, but also to be able to provide lenders and stakeholders with information they can use to support these farmers. This is a $350 billion market, and over the next 10 years, we're going after $1 billion worth of that. We make money by selling farm produce and consumer goods to large and retail buyers at margins of between 10 and 40%. And we also make 40 to 50% margins on logistics. Over the lifetime of a customer, we can capture more than $1 million in revenues. Our team has over 40 years of work experience with the likes of Amazon in operations, but also with the likes of Cadbury, Unilever, Coca-Cola, etc., in building brand and market activations and market entry strategies. We also have technology development solutions, and we have a team of animal and crop production experts who will help us to upscale operationally. Last year, we did over $297,000 in sales. We grew by over 30% despite COVID-19. And in December 2020, we were profitable. We've raised over $113,000. We've served over 4,000 customers and supported over 1,000 farmers. We're not the only player solving this problem. There are crowdfunding platforms, wholesalers, aggregators, and farmers markets. But Foodlocker is unique because we have a unique production management system that allows us to be able to support farmers and therefore optimize their efficiency. Our prices are better, our yields can be better, and also we have solutions that allow us to provide credit rating data to lenders. Historically, our product mix had been dominated by non-fresh produce, which meant that our growth was slow and we were not profitable. But in 2020, we flipped that around. We increased the percentage of fresh produce on our portfolio, and ultimately we were profitable. Growth also increased significantly. And that is the model we're scaling up in going forward. And that is why we're raising $1.12 million in equity and debt over the next 6 months in order to finance production of tomatoes, Scotch bonnet peppers, and chicken, for which we already have existing demand. Ladies and gentlemen, over the next 5 years, we're going to have revenues of above $9 million, and our net income would be above 25%. The 250 million smallholder farmers in Africa are waiting for you to back Foodlocker. Thank you very much.
Thank you to all our startups, and well done on your excellent pitches. We have 3 awards to announce today. Our People's Choice Award, the Thrive Africa Female Founder Award, and the overall Thrive Africa Challenge winner. Our Thrive team and judges convened prior to today's event to meet the startups and review the pitches that you all saw today, and I'm honored to announce the winners. For the People's Choice Award, the global agri-food tech community have spoken and voted their favorite African startup, and the winner is Mamlaka Foods, a Kenyan startup that seeks to eliminate inefficiencies in the supply of fresh produce. Congrats, Mamlaka. For the Thrive Africa Female Founder Award, we reviewed applications from both female founders and co-founders, and we were delighted to announce our winner, Nele Holese from 3D Emo. Congratulations, Nele. And now for the main award of the day. The Thrive Africa Challenge Award goes to Foodlocker, who are using data science and demand matching technologies to support smallholder farmers be more productive. Congratulations to our winners, and thanks again to all our finalists. Finally, I'd like to say special thanks to our partners, judges, mentors, and our team for making this event possible. And thank you for joining us today. We'll see you on February 11th for a new era of smarter food safety with the FDA, and on April 14th for the launch of our Thrive Bear Sustainability Challenge. Until then, stay safe, and let's continue to advance the future of food and agriculture through innovation.